Okay guys, welcome back. This is going to be a class for year 5 and year 6, okay? And we're going to be reading a book. Year 6, if you remember, I asked you to vote if you prefer to read a book and answer questions about it, or you preferred to do a similar activity to the one we did last week about Brighton, but this week about London. And I have to say, there were different opinions, but there was a vast majority of you who wanted to do the London activity. And that's what I planned to do. But then I looked at the calendar and I made a change of plans. So we are going to read the last book today. And then next week we will do the London virtual visit. And that probably will be also for year 5 and year 6. So I'll show you what book we're reading today. We're reading Helen of Troy. Okay, this is a book inspired in the oldest book that we have records about, which is called the Iliad, which is an ancient book. It's older than 2,500 years old. And it was written by a very famous Greek poet, ancient Greek poet by the name of Homer. Okay, so this is a long book. It's the longest one yet. It's the longest book that I've put in the channel so far. It's about 31 minutes reading. It's a chapter book. As you can see, there is 5 chapters. Okay, and it has a lot of characters. Okay, one of the things that makes this book a little bit more difficult is that it has a lot of different characters, kings and warriors and queens and lots of different characters with some strange, weird names, because these are ancient Greek names. So that's going to make it a little bit more difficult. It's not an easy book, okay? There's a lot of new vocabulary, okay? So when you're reading it, I'm not asking you to understand every sentence. I'm not asking you to understand every word. I'm asking you to get the general picture of the story and to see if you guys understand basically the general idea in the book. I prepared some questions that I will read in a minute, okay? One of the things that I want you to focus on, concentrate on, is when you guys are reading, pay attention to the pictures. These kinds of books, the pictures are going to help you a lot, okay? So for example, on page 6, Karis, who is the narrator. This is a special story because it's not the hero, it's not the Queen Helen of Troy, the one who narrates the story. Is Karis. Karis, who is a little girl who is 12 years old, and she works for Helen of Troy. She helps her with all the tasks she has. He's at her service, okay? Helen of Troy is her mistress, okay? The boss, so to speak. So on a page like this one, you may not understand some of the words. It says, upon Troy's high walls, as you can see, she is on the walls. I gaze out over the wide, windy plain. Gaze is to look, and she's looking at the plain, okay? So the pictures give you a lot of information to understand what's said in the book, even if you don't understand some of the words, okay? So very important. The context is going to help you, but the pictures are going to help you a lot too, okay? So let's have a look at the questions for the week. So there is going to be 5 questions, okay? 1 question per chapter. So every question is from a different chapter. Just like last week, I'm going to give you what page you have to look for the answer in. And there's just 5 questions, okay? So what you're going to do, like year 5 did last week, and I think year 6 did a couple of weeks ago, you're going to send me a recording of yourself reading the opening of the sentence that starts the question, and the right answer. Don't read both answers, just the right answer, okay? And now I'm going to show you the questions now. Question number 1. The Trojan people hate Helen of Troy because they envy her beauty, or the Trojan people hate Helen of Troy because they think she's responsible for the war and their misery. A word like envy is that they feel bad because she's beautiful and they would like to be as beautiful as her, and because they can't, they feel they hate her because she's just beautiful. Okay, so there's 2 options. You have to read in your recording the beginning of the activity and then the right option. Okay, you can find the answer to this question on page number 4 of the book. Okay, question number 2. Helen of Troy and Paris agree that Paris killed Achilles with the help of the sun god Apollo. Yes, they agree. No, they don't agree. Paris thinks he did it alone without any help. You can find the answer to this question on pages 17 and 18. Not only 17, you have to read both of them because this is kind of a tricky question, okay? Let's go to question number 3. What does Karis think about the wooden horse? You can find the answer to this question. You have to read the whole of chapter 3 from pages 19 to 40, okay? So, what does she think about the wooden horse? Just like everyone else, she believes it will protect Troy with the help of goddess Athene. Or she feels suspicious about it, just like Laocoön. She thinks there is something fishy about it. Now, fishy is a word that, of course, comes from fish, okay? And it means like something doesn't look right. Something is suspicious. Something is, I'm not sure about it. It looks fishy, all right? Question number 4. Which one do you think is a better summary of chapter 4? So after you read chapter 4 from pages 41 to 54, decide which one, A or B, is a better summary or description of what happens on chapter 4. A, Sinon betrays the Trojans, opens the secret door of the horse, and signals the Greek ships to come back to the beach. Then they attack Troy and destroy it. Or, if you think this is best, as a summary of chapter 4, the Greeks kill the Trojan king and destroy the city. And finally, question number 5. At the end of the story, Karis is taken to Sparta by force and she fears for her life, which would be kind of a negative ending. Or, at the end of the story, Karis stays by her mistress, Helen of Troy, of course, who will be queen again, and she thinks she will be happy in Sparta. So these are the questions for this book this week. And like I said, this is not an easy book, so don't get frustrated if you find a number of words that you don't understand. But try to have a look at the pictures and try to get as much from the context as possible. That will help you understand the general idea of the story, what the problems are, the reaction of the characters. It's an interesting book, full of adventure and treason and war, and it's a classic tale, so I hope you like it. Remember, what you have to send me is a recording of yourself reading the beginning of each of the 5 questions and the correct option you think goes with each question, whether it's A or B. Okay? And please, in your email, say who you are, say your name, your last name, your class, and your year, and say hi. Like always, say hi. This is my homework for the week, or these are my activities. I hope you're well. So have a good week, and I'm looking forward to your messages with your recordings with the questions. Have a good week, guys. Bye.